Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Dickest Band of Merry Men. I'm the Banana Kyle, or Kyle, and just want to thank y'all for joining us tonight as we play D&D. Just a bunch. As we last left off, our group of merry men had finally found the island of Maztica that they had been searching for after encountering some dangerous pirates across the seas. They limped basically to the island of Maztica with the little crew that they had. And as they began to search the island in the general direction that uh, the map that they had acquired had seemed to mark, they found a ruined city that seemed to have been overgrown, completely cracked, and basically left to nature to reclaim. And as they proceeded, after having a few conversations here and there, they proceeded to get closer to the extremely large, bigger than life temple that seemed to dominate the central city's tier. And as they got closer, there was sudden movement and sound that came from the underbrush that they themselves had just left. And as they kind of turned to look and see what new danger may approach, the ground beneath them gave away, and as black and darkness seemed to overtake them, as rocks and themselves seemed to tumble and crumble on top of each other, Katra was able to cast fly quick enough that he was able to uh, stay away from the falling and pitfall that they seem to have to endure. And that's where we're going to pick up, actually, as you all groan and kind of stretch and untangle yourselves from each other. You immediately notice two things. As you begin coughing from the dust and the general stonework that had just collapsed on you, the cough seems to irritate your throats and lungs further, and most of you would seem to go into coughing fits as the air around you seems naturally harsh. And secondly, you would notice that it is absolutely dark in here. And for those of you who can't see in the darkness, it is completely dark. You cannot even see your own hand in front of you as the last bit of sunlight seems to fade away as rocks shift and form into place above and next to you. And that, my friends, is what I'll ask is what you would like to do now.
The only going, everyone.
Sif's gonna take advantage of this situation and clear the not able to see and pull out one of his torches.
All right, and as you pull out your torch and whatever ability, I'm assuming that you have.
A tinderbox.
Yeah, you begin to strike the tinder blocks, the tinder box, and you have an extremely hard time getting any sort of even like strike to happen, any sort of sparks to happen. But you do eventually catch the torch, and as you do, it normally would up into flames. This time it doesn't. It kind of gutters for a second before slowly forming into a small, like, seemingly like it's about to die ball of fire that gives off very little light. And as you kind of look around, you notice the air immediately has this like amberish tint to it.
Sorry, I forgot to hit the talk to button. I'm gonna cast Control Flames on it,
Okay.
and I'm going to double the area of bright light and dim light cast by the flame.
All right.
And I'm gonna change its color so that it's closer to like a like yellow or white.
All right, which does seem to help in this amber-esque atmosphere that seems to hang at the ceiling, thicker at the ceiling, where you actually are, Katra. You kind of look around as the light gives you perspective on the real colors in the room, and you notice that around your head there seems to be this large cloud of this amber light. Or amber light, I'm sorry, amber air floating.
Hmm. Uh, I don't think there's.
However, as you also do now light up the room more fully, you are all able to see that you are in a long, narrow chamber running east to west. In the center of this apartment is a domed shape on the floor. In the east wall is a blank faced stone door. The west end of the room, behind you, is blocked by fallen stone and rubble, obviously the result of the collapse that you just caused. The two side walls appear to have several niches cut into them. Uh, that's what you see as of right now.
Can I get a closer look at this thing in the center of the room here
Sure.
as I
Yeah.
walk forward?
I'm gonna float above him and follow.
All right. So, as you approach the shape in the center of the chamber, it appears to be some sort of small alcove, and you have to wrap around to the other side to see what's in it. So, this side seems to be like a wall protecting something on the other side.
I will drift around the globe to see what's on the other side.
All right. So, as you go around, you notice that it is, like I said, protected by this half dome with the open end now facing towards you, the door side on the east wall. This alcove is set in a recessed, shallow, tiled well, 1 foot deep and 10 foot wide. The alcove itself is 4 feet high. The recess contains some sort of display. And as you kind of look closer, it looks like some sort of diorama to you. Oh, got you. 1 second. Apologies.
I'm going to stand up and help Bjorf up.
All right.
Kovash
You should.
slowly
You
gets
should.
to his feet and draws his sword and gets ready in case anything happens.
The dust is horrible here.
2 seconds. I gave him control of Dikuth. How, other than that, do I give him control of the token?
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
You go ahead and just continue. I'll
Thank
get
you.
it.
As you, Katra, as you look closer, the display appears to be a diorama depicting a hunting party of some kind of warriors. You would assume Maztecan, in feathers and deer hide garments, in a mountainside scene. Some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog. Another group is cleaning a small mule deer, and others have cornered a panther with their spears. A scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook.
Interesting.
From this angle, you notice that the three niches on both the northern and southern walls are 5 feet wide and about 3 feet off the floor themselves. And each niche, I don't know, in the wall contains another diorama each.
I
That's
would take the time to go around and look at them all. I would also pull out a torch and press the digitation it
All right.
lit,
So
and then I would also cast control fire on it to make it
sure.
There we go. Okay.
Kovash would also go around and see if the dioramas are connected in any way.
All right. So go to whichever one you want to go to, as you do. Katra, as you approach the niche immediately to your left, you kind of stare at it for a moment as it's interesting at first. It's obviously non human, and after a moment, you get that it's a depiction of the creation of the world. Um, there is a god adorned in green quetzal feathers, is mixing ashes with blood to form sculptures of a man and woman, while four towering figures painted red, black, blue, and white are standing about a fire committing suicide with their daggers. Two smaller figurines are ringed by the four. The modest, pimply one is being consumed by the fire, while the braggart, um, what appears to be a large snail, hovers over them.
Okay.
Kovash, as you approach that niche, it appears to be a river scene with a dozen people gathering rushes, fishing with nets, and carving a dugout.
Sif's gonna check out and investigate some of these what look to be doorways. I want to say, being careful not to really touch anything. Looking with his eyes for the moment.
Doorways.
These
He
I think
means
these
the
niches.
niches.
the niches, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
they're little alcoves, and as you approach, they each have small little figurines in them. Kind of. You guys ever see Night at the Museum?
Yep.
Think the Roman cowboy dudes.
Oh, those little small
Yeah,
figures.
they're
Okay.
all little figurines, all depicting different things. For example, in Kovash's that you see over his shoulder, it's literally it appears to be some sort of regular life around a river scene. There's a dozen regular little people gathering rushes, fishing with nets, and carving a dugout. As you can look around, they're all filled with different sort of little scenes. In the one that you approach there, you see that even more 12 humans are engaged in farming, planting maize, and harvesting wheat. However, around them is five heavily armored men standing guard with some sort of robed garment looking figure in a bird costume seems to be saying some sort of blessing over the fields. And as Sif, as you approach that one, you see that this one portrays a temple upon a tiered pyramid. Seven humans are bringing small offerings of gold and jade. Before the temple stands a similar looking priest to the one that is in the bird costume of the one to the left, handling a constrictor snake. Around him stand three of these heavily armored warriors. One dressed as a winged serpent holding a spear, another is dressed as a bear with razor claws, the third represents a coyote holding a torch. There are also several stone statues of what you can appear, or what you can guess are some sort of gods. There's gold and jade all over the place. Bjolf, as you approach that one, you notice that this is a scene that shows various forms of crafting. Another 12 humans are busy weaving rugs and baskets, carving totems, making pots, grinding stones for weapons, and making clothes.
I checked this one.
That one
That's
I already said to you. That is the one where they're farming,
the,
planting
the, the,
maize,
the,
and
so the
harvesting wheat.
The first one was
What
a
about
regular scene around
this
around
one?
like the rivers. The second one was farming. The fourth one was crafting. The one that Bjolf was just at. And this one was the one right by me again was depicting. One more time.
Uh, a temple upon a tiered pyramid. Seven commoners are bringing small offerings of gold and jade.
Religious means. Gotcha.
Before the temple stands a priest handling a constrictor snake. Around him stand three costumed armored warriors, one dressed as a winged serpent holding a spear, another is dressed as a bear with razor claws. Third represents a coyote holding a torch. And then the final one that you approach, Katra, is a scene of what appears to be tribal warfare involving 20 heavily armored warriors in combat. The one side of 10 warriors is painted in black, while the 10 others are done in red. Civ, as you look at that one appears odd to you. It is the one that appears as the creation of the world. Um, all of the statuettes are, instead of being humans, obviously, are all extremely stylized and obviously non-human.
Sif's gonna look over towards Katra and motion his torch towards the centerpiece that he was floating over before. What did you make of that?
So all these figures appear to be made of stucco, realistically and brightly painted. All sorts of different things.
Push to talk, Steve.
Sorry, it's a hunting party.
Dude, we're on episode 6. You gotta learn this.
It's not that I don't learn it. It's just that I have ADHD. I always forget.
It's all good. Yeah, you've now looked at, I believe, all of them. And as you all are kind of taking a moment to think, and you hear as several rocks fall and shift and form over here.
I did anyone move any of those rocks, or are those rocks like coming from somewhere, or is there something over
did we
there?
not just come collapsing down?
Yes, but typically rocks don't keep collapsing.
Did you say there was a door?
Oh, yes, I apologize. Dikuth, you would notice over here. That's my fault, guys. As you approach that, you see that there is a door that seems to be carved with a sun symbol and appears to open in. What? Never mind. The door is carved with a sun symbol, and there are hinges on this side and scratches on the floor. There is no visible lock or handle on it, although a slight gap stretches across the top of the door. 8 holes seem to have been bored into the door. They are about an inch in diameter, but nothing can be seen in them. The door seems to be fairly thick. The lintel is arched with a keystone at the top.
Guys,
Dikuth attempts to push the door open.
Oh no.
I think the atmosphere has got some type of poison fog and cloud.
Give me an athletics check. Excuse me. Are you kicking it?
Not this time.
Alright, well, as you kind of brace your shoulder against the side of the stone, you and realize it probably opens inwards.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna open this door with brute strength.
How many slots around the door did you say there were?
There are, once again, 8 holes seem to have been bored into the door, about an inch in diameter.
And how big are these figurines? A couple inches?
The stucco figurines are around 6-inch tall figurines. The non-human ones are a little bit taller than that.
Can I?
So-
Sif's gonna kind of raise the torch over this central piece and really kind of like try and pick in what was all in it again. I'm sorry, I was taking care of the tokens when you were explaining this.
There's some hunters skinning like some type of mule. I remember thinking it's not. He doesn't mean regular bear. or whatever. It's some type of weird mule. There
A
is
mule
some
deer.
hunters, a mule deer.
There you go.
There's some hunters surrounding a jaguar with spears. There's another hunter perched above the jaguar with what looks like a shepherd's crook. I think it's made of silver. And I'm missing a scene, but I can't remember what it was.
Which one?
Is there anything laying around that
Maybe I'm
looks
not
like it
missing
might
one.
fit in the holes?
You could give me an investigation check.
I would
Uh,
love to do that.
Katra kind of like looks over the 6 scenes and he makes the observation that they look like that they are parts of a civilization, as in they start and then they advance. Well, I mean, you start with creation and then you move to being a hunter gatherer slash and then slash farming. Then comes regular life. uh you develop around that time you develop religion, and then
Warfare
typically
is gonna go on from there.
crafting and farm life comes at the same time, but then after that would be warfare, and then it would cycle and start over again.
But in my experience, religion is brought.
At this point, Dikuth takes a running kick at the door.
Sif will try catching Dikuth as he starts to go and do something. He was a similar done in a previous dungeon. And if I can,
Contested grapple check, I guess. As to Bjolf, as you look around, you're really not sure. You're kind of confused by
Nope.
all of this. It doesn't seem to really make sense as to what these all are doing here.
Uh,
So it's just kind of scrambling your brain at the moment.
What
fair.
is this thing in the middle again?
All right, so this, well, as you stare at it, Jelena, well, as you look at it, you don't really see.
Diorama, right?
Yeah, you don't really see anything because it is a wall that you're looking at. You can see that it is a half-shaped dome that is protecting the diorama, and as you kind of tilt your head around, you do see that into the center of it is another display of these Tekken warriors in interesting bits of armor and feathers and deer hide garments. They are in what appears to be a mountainside scene. Some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog. Another group is cleaning a small mule deer. And others have cornered a panther with their spears. Finally, a scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook.
So Katra is gonna pull out a dagger
Well, as
and
you're
throw it.
doing that, you hear a tussle of armor on armor as Sif goes to try and stop. Did you say a flying drop kick?
no, a running kick, I think he said.
What did you
Yeah,
say?
a running kick.
All right, a running kick, and you get run over by Dikuth as you actually begin another coughing fit, and you all watch as Sif goes to his knees, coughing heavily, as you all begin to realize that the air is irritating enough that you all take 1 poison damage.
Told you.
And Dikuth, unfortunately, your kick your leg buckles as your leg connects with the stone door, and your weight crashes behind it, and you kind of crash into the door into a pile as well. The door not moving.
Don't
Catra's
overexert
gonna pull.
yourself. The more you breathe, the more this stuff is gonna have an effect.
Can anyone do anything about this stuff?
None of these 6 things have anything we can grab, right?
I mean, they're all figurines, aren't they?
Yeah, everything's grabbable.
I was gonna say I'm gonna throw a
Except for the
dagger at this
diorama stuff.
farm.
The diorama stuff seems grabbable.
Oh, I thought you said it's encased in like a glass thing.
No, this one is like so. I'm sorry, I explained it
It
wrong.
has like a dome covering half of it,
Like
kind of
the
like.
one in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the diorama continues into the back end over here. It's like a theater almost.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And everything in all of these niches and dioramas seems to be grabbable.
Okay, so Catra's gonna throw a dagger at the farming figure.
The farming figurine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me an attack roll. Easy enough. You watch as your dagger takes out one of the farmers. It embeds itself in the small stucco figurine's chest, and it clatters to the back of the diorama, knocking over a couple of other things.
So I will quickly go and gather maybe like 3 of the figurines and my dagger.
Which of the
And
figurines?
well, which ones are there?
You hit a farmer who also seemed to knock over several of the other farmers, which it appears there are 12 of those in total. And then there appears to be 5 slightly different ones who are dressed in wooden armor and stone armor, as well as carrying weapons. And then there's another final stucco figurine that is a robed figure in a bird costume blessing the fields.
We're gonna want that one.
Are there any ones that look like are any of them holding weapons that are different than the rest of them, like made out of metal or?
Sif points to the religion one and speaks up and says the winged shit, the winged figurine from that one looks suspicious.
Yeah, most of the ones in this diorama seem to be armed with spears and shields. The only ones that seemed out of place were the ones that were in this niche over here.
Creation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab one, or I'm gonna grab. You said there was like farmers. There were some armored guys,
Yep.
and then
one oddly robed bird costumed person.
oh yeah, we're grabbing
religion
the bird guy.
Yep.
We're
Zip
grabbing one of the suits of armor, and we're gonna grab one of the farmers, and then we're gonna move over to the creation one.
From the hunter gathering one.
Grab the one with the crook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I was gonna say.
Over here on the creation one, I remember there was a snail. There was 2 twins committing suicide, and I don't remember what else was there.
So yeah, there is a all the statuettes are bigger and stylized compared to the rest. They are obviously non-human. There is what appears to be some sort of godlike figurine adorned in green. I don't know how to pronounce it. Quetzal feathers. And he is
Quetzal.
that is mixing ashes with blood to form sculptures of a man and woman. And then there
Nice.
are 4 towering figures painted red, black, blue, and white are standing about a fire committing suicide with their daggers. Then there are 2 smaller figurines are ringed by the 4. It appears to be one that seems to have these boils all over his body, and another is a snail that seems to be cowering.
Okay, so those all sound interesting. We're going to grab them all.
I apologize.
Um,
The Odd Warriors were in C, not E.
the
Or
Odd Warriors were in
different
C,
the
not E.
different weaponed warriors were in C, not E. Or in your religion one.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna grab all of the figurines from the creation one,
Sure.
and then I'm going to return over to the center hunter gathering one, and I'm going to plop down the farmer and the armored ones on the center dais.
All right. And as you do, you all hunch in anticipation as nothing happens.
Okay.
No, we need to put these into the hole on the door.
The holes are only an inch in diameter.
Also, the only one that has something that would be insertable would probably be the crooked one. I'm gonna call it crooked one. So I would also take a mental note of. I guess I did take a mental note, but I would take a mental note of the hunter gathering one, and I would like wipe all of the figurines away, and I would reset up the creation one in the middle so that the god figure was like doing the sacrifices, and then there was the four ringed um or the four ringing the boiled guy and the snail, and I would try to do my best to put the colors back in the way that I picked them up out of the nook.
Okay. And you're putting it in the center one?
Yeah.
All right. As you rearrange them, you notice that all of them seem to be like action figure-y. They seem to move. You can move their legs and their arms and their heads around. But as you place them in the center and rearrange them to the way that you saw it as best as you can, once again, nothing appears to outwardly happen.
Karate chop action.
Um, can I
Yo,
get an from each niche, ignoring the figurines for a second, the areas that they looked like. What did the land, the area that they were depicting look like? This regular area was like regular riverland, right? And then this farming area looks like farm and grasslands, right?
They all do have a somewhat similar environment to what they need to represent, but you realize that it's all still jungle and heavily tropical type of environment.
For all of them.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that's not that. Hmm.
All right, Kovesh. You can climb up most of the way up these stones, but it appears that you're going to have to dig to make your way through. It seems to be blocked at the top.
I mean, if Kovash, if you want to climb back up through the top, we could do that.
I just didn't know if it would be possible and might be faster to get out of this fog.
I mean, I could shatter the stuff blocking the hole.
Do you guys want to do that? That seems like it could be dangerous.
That could cause a bigger cave in.
Yeah.
We are underground.
Hang on, DM, didn't you say there was like some scuffling noise coming from the rubble earlier?
It seems that every few minutes or so, or as the time seems to pass, it begins to slow down. It just seems that the rocks are shifting and finding.
So like the weight's finally shifting out and moving. Okay. It's just gravity at work. That is not that far.
I'm gonna look at the dais. Does it seem like it moves or is connected to anything, or like it's on a pedestal, or
Give me an
well, you said it's
investigation check.
instant.
Yep. You can still give me. I can give you the base info again, which was that it is. This one is 4 feet. Like the total top of it is 4 feet high. It is set in a recessed, shallow, tiled well, 1 foot deep and 10 foot wide. And as you pick at it and try to move it around, it doesn't seem to move. It seems pretty solid. Doesn't seem like this moves at all to you.
Well, guys, I got nothing. He says, and he's gonna land as his spell ends.
Okay, you said they're like action figures. So can I remove the crook from one of the action figures
Yeah,
or statuettes? Yeah. So the crook comes out.
yeah.
What's in
Easy
the hand of
enough.
the
You see
wing?
it slide out of the hand that is holding the staff. It seems to be some metal.
I
What
walk over to the door and then are all the holes in the door?
1 inch in diameter?
I'm sorry. Yeah, could you say that again?
Do all the holes on the door look the same,
Yeah.
or are there like specific symbols on them or anything?
No, they all seem to be pretty similar. The only thing that changes any of them is that um, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. They all look exactly the same. You do notice that there is scratches on the floor in front of the door. I misread that. My bad. Which would give you the impression that Dikuth figured out earlier that it opens inward.
DM, these holes, how are they oriented on the door?
They all it's oh shit. Well, here, let me give you this. Since you picked it up, Jonathan, this will give you a better description of what that figurine looks like.
Oh,
He's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh,
definitely,
Think
I
like
would definitely take one of those in real life.
think like
Yeah.
a six-sided die. They're all in a straight line next to each other.
okay.
Can I
question.
get my fingers in them?
They you can hmm. I suppose.
Can I like put my fingers in the door and like pull?
Oh my. I love this ticket. I love it. I fucking
And
love
then you lose all your fingers.
it. While he's doing this, can I go take the
You can
Can I get-
certainly try, Dikuth.
can I get one more explanation of the farming one last time as I go and take the
The farming
the
one's
figuring with the nook?
fucked
Well, the
now.
figuring without the nook.
Yeah, well, the farming one's fucked now. You see a field of maize and wheat where there's now a stucco figure with a dagger sticking out of him. Or did you take that one?
I
Kasha?
took that one.
All right. Well, you see several of the farmers seem to have been knocked over, while several of them are still engaged in farming. Um, how many of the what?
Are there any animal figurines in this?
No, except for what you had previously seen was the priest who was dressed as in a bird costume.
Priest and a bird cuff.
You could give me an athletics check, Dikuth. And slipping some of your fingers into these slight holes, you begin pulling with all your strength and grit your teeth, and you realize that it's as it shifts slightly under your strength, you hear it hitting something as if it were locked.
Okay.
I think this door might have a lock.
Oh, I can take care of
Guys,
that.
this crook looks like a key.
It does look like a key.
I'm gonna try something. Step away
Wait a
from the
minute,
door.
didn't you say there was like a keystone up at the top point, DM?
I did.
Oh, did he?
Sif
Alright,
steps back as soon as Jelena says to step back.
you see, Jelena, as you look, the door seems to be fairly thick, and at the top of it, the lintel is arched, and at the top of that, there seems to be some sort of keystone.
Hmm. But there's no like hole in the keystone, right?
Not that you could see.
Okay. You said there's 8 holes, all in a single row, correct?
You think like four like next to each other, all in a straight row. So four on one side, four on the other.
Okay. Um, just to check, I'm not gonna. Can the crook fit into one of the holes?
It definitely does.
Okay, I'm not turning it yet, cause something tells me I'm gonna have to put it in and turn it. So I'll say, let's try the top right hole and see what happens.
All right, as you try the top right hole with the key, you turn it to the right, and it just swivels in the hole and keeps turning.
It just keeps turning.
Yep.
There's no
It doesn't
Nothing
appear
to
stopping
to
her.
catch it.
catch anything. It just appears to swivel in the hole. Oh, that was never mind. That's Dikuth. I thought that was Kovash.
Hmm. Should I try the other holes, guys?
Mm,
I vote yes.
It's worth a shot. Worth a
Are
guess.
there other figurines that have removable weapons?
Several of them have
Can
these.
I just start grabbing those and just start like trying them in the holes?
Only the apparently warrior-esque figurines who have spears appear to fit in the holes.
How many weapon items are there in total?
20 plus
Oh shit! Never mind.
5 plus
A lot more than I thought. Okay.
1,
Going
37, 20, 38.
Okay. How many of them look to be made of a different type of metal?
The
More
only
unique
the
from the common
staff.
ones, I should say. Only the staff?
Yep.
Okay.
The other ones appear to be wooden or stucco bits with stone.
Are there any indents on any of these niches or
You
in
can give
this
me an
central niche where
investigation check.
all right, and this will be since I just remembered I actually have an exhaustion point, this will be at disadvantage.
All right. So while he's
Don't we
doing
all
that,
have
I will
exhaustion points?
one by one
No, I got two.
stick
We
the
took a
crook.
rest. 'Cause I
You
failed one
can
of those
also
con
give
saves.
me an investigation check as you're going over the holes and one by one putting them in. Jeleneth.
Y- yes, Austin, you have two, but I'm sure everyone else
No,
has
no,
one.
no, no. I had two. Then we took a long rest, and then we moved
Yeah, so he
forward to
only
do
has
this.
one.
So I
Oh,
have
we did
one.
long
You all are
rest.
good. Yes.
Jeleneth, as you are putting them into each of these little divots, none of them seem to catch any sort of mechanism for this staff. But as you're kind of moving around and feeling around, you feel the keystone shift.
Ha? Like shift in, shift out.
It moves backwards from your finger. Like your finger was just brushing near the top, and you feel it move back.
And I just push in on the keystone?
And you watch it disappear as it uh, um, snaps backwards like a mechanism and stays now um, not parallel, but opposite of the
Perpendicular?
door. yeah, perpendicular to where it was to the door.
I really hope I didn't just lock us in here.
Don't worry, I can magically unlock the door if I can.
Sif kind
Could
of
you
looks
have
over at
done that
Katra
this whole
like,
time?
"Are?"
Huh?
I think Katra has everyone staring at him.
I definitely said that 2 minutes ago when someone said I think the door is
Kobash was
locked.
just gonna inquire further about you saying you could help with a lock.
Like I literally said that 2 minutes ago.
Okay, congratulations, and yet you didn't seem to trust. So if you can, do it.
I mean,
If not,
magic's a precious resource that I don't want to waste, especially when I don't know where I am.
true. So why bring it up if that's the case?
Because if we can figure out how to unlock the door, I mean, it's a last case scenario. If we can figure out how to unlock the door without wasting magic, we should try that first.
Most definitely. But best to leave that to the little bit tidbit of information until we're about to give up. Is all I'm saying.
Wait, so are you mad that I told you, or are you mad that I didn't tell you?
I'm not mad at all. I'm just getting sick and tired of breathing in this gas.
And as he says that, you all take another point of poison damage.
And every moment that we're spending trying to protect other resources, our breath is slowly fading.
So the keystone went in and is now
Yeah, and you
perpendicular to the
cannot
door.
see the back side of it anymore. You only see like the left side that hinged in.
Jelineth, did you want to look up there or boost me up there to look up there?
Can you see in the dark?
I'm holding a torch.
I'm holding the torch.
He
I
has a torch as well.
Oh, okay. This
There
is
are
even
two
better.
torches burning now. They're regular. Well, at this point, they go down to a. Well, how long do torches last?
8 hours.
Yeah. So at this point, they do gutter back down to their smaller thing,
Got you.
smaller
Sorry.
brightness.
Sorry, I only see
Um,
my light, so I thought there was only one torch
You're good.
going.
I will
I'll take a look.
recast control fire or control
And
flames.
they both. That's a cantrip, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And
I
so
guess
then
I climb the door and
I'm
look
not.
at the keystone.
And
Well, I'm not the strongest to lift you up there.
it's easily enough there with how it's built and the archway that's up there. And as you kind of lift yourself up, you see right in front of where your nose is a small locking hole.
And I put the crook into that locking hole.
And it fits perfectly.
Can I turn the crook?
And it cracks for a moment as nothing seems to happen, and then after a moment, you get pushed off the door as it and slowly opens. 2 seconds.
Sif gives
Well,
does a first hands up and then hands dropping to his hip, and then pats Jonathan on the shoulder and says thank you, and pokes his torch through the doorway. Actually, first kind of like little poke, lean his head in, and kind of like look past.
Alright. The stone walls of this corridor are carved to resemble a stack of bamboo like logs. You instantly notice that the passage slopes down.
I do.
well, that took longer than I wanted.
We should probably take the key with us, right?
And that's
Yeah,
about
I'm
all you
holding onto
notice
the
as
key.
you stare into this hallway and notice that it immediately turns left.
I'll go check it out.
I'll go with.
Sif will make his step in and kind of hug to the wall.
Alright.
He's gonna actually and noticeably kind of like place his hands on the wall and kind of use it to kind of like help him walk along.
Dikuth, as you turn the corner and notice, it takes you a moment to get your footing as it interestingly enough, it does feel weird as you feel it slope downwards towards this doorway that has a lintel crafted to represent a stylized cavern entrance. It leads to double doors of beaten bronze worked to resemble a forest of seaweed.
I continue forward.
Wait,
Cautiously.
All right.
before we go, everybody, and so it's going to kind of point back towards the room that we were at. We want to make sure we have a way out in case we need to come back quick.
A way out through the collapsed room?
We don't have a way out that way. That's why we came out here.
Yeah, we would have probably taken a long time to even dig our way out.
Yeah,
And
if
then
I
who
thought we
knows?
could have climbed up, if I would have seen any light, I would have tried, but
Yeah, I didn't
it
see
was
any light.
caved in.
Well, all I can think of with that is, and Sif pulls out the map that he had gotten from what's his face, and says, "Well, we just want to make sure to keep our eyes peeled and to be extra cautious then, because if this is any truth to it, this map, this piece of paper here, that may have been one of the only ways in. So let's hope we can find another way out."
So I'm going to keep holding the torch, but I'm going to snuff it out.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to take the point?
Yes?
Kovash will sneakily try to stay like 10 feet ahead of the party as he slowly goes down and watches for any kind of change in the ground or the area around him.
All right. Go ahead and give me. Just give me a general perception check. As you're walking down the downward sloping hallway, you get to about the midway point, like right here, when you notice that the texture in the wall changes, and what looks like the hallway has been represent a stack of, like, the wall is a stack of bamboo like logs. And as you look along the side, you notice that there seems to be an odd gap in several of the ends of these logs. And as you explore further, you notice that there is a pressure plate set in the middle of the floor, about a foot in front of where you're standing, 5 feet in front of where you're standing. I'm sorry, right here.
Can I tell how large it is?
The pressure plate.
Yeah.
It seems like it would require quite a bit of weight, as it takes up a good portion of the ground.
No, I meant like.
Oh, I
Okay.
apologize.
Yeah, that's what I
it's
meant.
more
I meant is it small enough that everyone here could jump over it?
It's more centralized than that. Like, it doesn't take up the whole hallway. Think like like you could get around it around the sides.
Okay, so Kovash is gonna do that, and then like
Perfect.
tell the others to do the same and be careful.
So you all hear Kovash tell you to be careful and point out some piece of square stonework on the ground.
Mr. Kevin, do you want to pull the compass rose with us?
That's the plan.
Oh.
I got it. I can move it around. Don't worry.
I just want to get rid of the square that I accidentally just drew now. There we go. Alright. So as you explore further, get to this. Yeah, you get to the door. that seems to be beaten of bronze and work to resemble a forest of seaweed.
A forest of one more time?
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I only kept hearing sea, and I was like, what is a forest of sea?
That's not what I heard.
That beat called the ocean.
I look around the door for any traps, locks, or ways to open it.
Give me an investigation check.
What are these on the side?
As they're pointed out, you notice that these are actual logs that seem to have some sort of part in the traps working.
Oh, so it'd be like you step on the trap and then these would activate somehow, probably.
That's your best guess, yes.
Got it.
Easily enough, it appears that the door is not trapped nor locked, and that it swings inwards, like towards the other room.
Can I see if I can quietly open it a crack and see what I can see?
Sure.
Without...
For you, it's a little easier than most, as this is a large stone block. But you do push it open slightly, and you notice that this room is immediately constructed of large stone blocks buttressed in the corners. The walls are wet and slimy, and mud covers most of the floor in a thin coating. Let me move.
I turn to the others and I say, right, be on your guards. I don't know what to expect. It looks like this is more natural than where we are right now. And I cautiously step outside and look around.
All right. So as you enter the room, you notice that once again the floor is slick with mud, and you immediately almost lose your footing. To the east and west may be seen stone doors recessed into the wall, and to the north a set of stairs leads down. In the center of the chamber sits a large, polished boulder amid a pile of smaller, rounded rocks. The boulder is 5 feet tall and colored brown with dark streaks and spots. Leaning against it is what appears to be a bamboo staff. In the mud around the base of the boulder is a moving shape, looking like a crayfish. It is facing you and seems to be aware of your presence.
I just keep a loose grip on my sword and just maintain eye contact watching it as I slowly creep around the corner.
Dikuth pulls out Shatter Spike at this point as well.
Alright. And as more of you enter the chamber, you all hear this odd language echo out from the crayfish. It sounds ancient and somewhat musical in tone, and none of you are able to understand it except Jelenith. As you enter the room, you immediately hear part of the sentence of this creature like moving in the mud and water as it begins to wave its claws in an aggressive manner. Who dares enter the chamber of the Guardian? You had better go, or I will have to discharge my sacred duty. Be off with you before I lose my temper.
Guys, this guy's not happy with us.
What do you mean not happy? We didn't do anything but walk in.
If you
I
could talk to
technically
him,
didn't
tell
walk
him
in.
we're just passing through. We don't want to be here either.
Tell him we're just Dikuth's band of merry men.
I will say in primordial, ho, great beast. We are just humble travelers who stumbled upon a trap that fell into the ruin. We are simply looking for a way out. We do not wish you any harm.
Does not matter. You are in the roost of the conch. Retreat now.
In which direction? That room is we can't leave out of the room we just came from.
He begins waving his claws back and forth angrily, and just you hear him beginning to say, "Does not matter. Does not matter. Does not matter."
He's not gonna let us go, guys. Like he wants us to go back, but we can't go back. So we're
Cool.
probably gonna
Kovash
have to go
leaps
back.
at him and takes some attacks.
Oh
All
God.
right, give me initiative rolls in 2 seconds.
I mean, he wasn't gonna let us pass.
It was that
You
or
barely tried.
Oh,
no, it
Tasha,
was
you didn't wait
murmur.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
until I
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You tried. You did try.
You
That's good,
said
Jonah.
you
I
said
said-
2 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't have it up yet.
It was totally on
Let
our
him
screen.
say. Let him. Well, yeah,
Well,
it was
yeah,
on the
but
screen,
it
but
had
let him
all
say go.
everybody's old initiatives on it. Oh boy.
That's just below average roll.
You can have advantage.
Really?
Kovash.
Oh. Oh wait, shit. Hold on, I gotta roll again. Yep.
Ba, 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 ba.
Wait, does initiative count as an ability check?
Yep.
Then yes. I wasn't sure because it actually wasn't asking me if I could do to roll advantage or not advantage, which was confusing for a second.
Well, normally we don't get to roll at advantage or disadvantage, but it does use your ability skill, so or your ability modifier, so it's
Yeah,
technically an
it's
ability
considered a
check.
dex check. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just double checking it right. I was just double checking it right here. Yeah, the only instances you get advantage on initiative is like the feature. I can't remember which feature that is. I did just read about. I was just reading it for the last one because I was looking at features.
Isn't that alert?
I think it's alert. Yep. I have the book right in front of me, so I'll
TM,
double
out of
check.
curiosity, is there a handout for this thing? It's kind of hard to tell what it looks like from the token.
It's a crayfish.
It's a giant crayfish.
Ah.
Oh, that's giant.
Whoops.
Wait, what? It shrunk. It's long. Ah. Oh no, it's not alert. Alert just gives you +5 to initiative.
Jack of all trades affects initiative.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. I'm looking for the one that. Okay, but does it make it initiative? Or does it give it advantage? That's not. That's the one that I'm double checking for because I remember reading that one. I could be. Oh,
Does that-
holy! What
does
the
that help?
balls?
Does that help, Don?
Okay, cool.
All right. 1 second, guys. Jeleneth, you watch as you're saying that this creature can't be reasoned with. Kovash immediately leap into battle. However, you seem to have a quicker response time than he does. And as you're about to do whatever it is that you actually, I will whisper this to you.
Okay. Just curious, what is in the middle of the room?
A
What does that
polished
stick there?
boulder.
Giant boulder.
With
Okay.
what looks like a bamboo staff leaning up against it.
Give me 2 seconds.
And this is a mud room, essentially?
Yes.
Yep.
How deep is the mud?
Or I might be even thinking. No, I might. I actually might only be thinking of Ranger.
Okay, interesting. Um, I will run in with my double-bladed scimitar. I'm actually going to run around them. Is this difficult terrain?
Let me double check. I don't.
All
Yes.
attacking barbarians,
It is
actually.
difficult terrain.
Yep.
Okay, so 10,
Natural 12. That would hit.
20. Hang on. 10, 20, 10, 30. We'll go down here.
And as
And
you
I.
kind of run forward, give me a dex saving throw as you slide to a stop and try to catch yourself.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hey.
You immediately grind your heels into the mud and find purchase.
You say for flair that as I'm running in, I actually do like a corkscrew, kind of like a small corkscrew leap, and like slash him with my double scimitar.
Hell yeah. Do it.
So that way I kind of like I land as a stop.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, that hits.
What's happening? Where did that D6 come from?
I think that's if your thing is
That's your
added.
that was. Didn't you query for piercing thorns on that one?
I don't think I did. Um. Oh, nope. There was a second damage type. That's not supposed. Turn that off. Okay. So 7 slashing damage.
Was it, or was there a click thing on for you?
Yeah. Apparently I had a second damage thing on it, which wasn't supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no, the second damage. Yeah.
That's
Let me
for
look.
other things. Yeah,
Hey,
but don't worry about that.
no, no. Can you send me the what you have in the? I'll message it to you. Never mind. Go ahead,
Oh
DM. I'm
no, I'm
sorry.
not using. I'm not using any query, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
And then take my second attack with the double bladed scimitar.
Oh, you probably read through before. That's why.
13 does not hit. I'm guessing, or does it?
No, 13 does not hit.
Okay. Bonus action to attack with a double bladed scimitar again.
Sure.
Oh, even worse.
That does not. So both of your last attacks seem to bounce off its hardened exoskeleton quite easily as you miss between the cracks. As your first one had easily sliced in between one of the layers of armor. Is there anything else for your turn?
I think that's it. 'Cause I only have 5 feet of movement left, and I cannot take that. So
Alrighty. Was calm emotions you, Katra?
That
No.
was Dikuth was looking at it as you asked for initiative.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not sure I understand your question then, Katra. Kovash, you're up.
Before I go, was that message to me or Dikuth?
You.
Okay. Um, cool. So Koresh has felt useless for the last 40 days. And he's gonna channel that as he uses his bonus action to go into a rage. And starts running forward. You said this is all difficult terrain.
Yes. Yes, sir.
40.
Alright.
And then I'm going to attack. Once my
Yeah.
game loads.
Steven,
Yes,
are you messaging me?
I did. You messaged me first.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
That's
did.
super weird because I definitely did not.
Here, I will message you on Discord what you messaged me first.
Yeah, you should ignore that because I definitely did not whisper that to you. And you can look at my screen. I don't even know how you got it.
It's probably because if you were sending it to one of the character tokens or their names, it can send it to the other people too
Yeah, that's a
sometimes.
problem. Ignore
Yeah.
It's
that.
like my death save from yesterday. I don't know how it happened, but it did.
Because you are probably controlled by Don from sharing computers in past lives.
So whisper it to Steve, not Katra, unfortunately.
It was never
I
for
know it.
Katra. It was whispered to someone else, and Katra received it.
Gotcha.
Did you need me to make the save to stay standing or
Yes,
whatever?
please. Deck saving throw.
Would it trigger my danger sense since I saw Jelinus sliding?
Yes. You would know that mud is slippery. By the way, I
Is water
believe
wet?
this compass should be the other way around. I believe, yeah.
Nope, because you said east to west was long.
Yeah, and this was the east wall over here.
Oh,
You
that
have it
way.
like completely backwards, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine, Kovesh, as you do slide to a stop next to this.
Cool, then attack, and I'm gonna activate my first charge of the day on the sword.
Go for it.
Cool, so I take 1 damage.
Alrighty. The first one hits, the second one does not. Wait, are you? Yes, the second one does not.
Doesn't get advantage.
He does, but the second one is
Oh wait,
still.
no, yeah,
Easy,
I
not
still,
bad.
yeah, no, whoop, yep, no, never mind.
So
I
15
mixed.
in
Oops,
total.
I was looking at it wrong. I saw 23, 11, 14, 12.
No, it would be 21 in total. It's 2d6 extra.
All right, so you take a mighty leap into a downward arcing strike that breaks into the carapace of this crayfish, and you hear it out in pain. And I believe that's your turn.
That is indeed my turn.
All right. You hear it begin calling something out, repeating it over and over again. Um, Jelineth, you notice it just keeps saying Kalka Kila.
Okay.
Katra, it's your turn. Give me a perception check.
Okay, apparently my computer is being laggy.
As you watch Kovesh take a deep slice into this crayfish creature, you are ready to take your action when you notice that the boulder behind him begins to shake and move.
Guys, that boulder, moving. That boulder, I saw that boulder move.
You notice that the what you at first thought was a bamboo staff curls inward suddenly and drags out this large hermit crab's like head that stares and takes you all in.
Ah, Coco Kila.
Ah.
Turn order.
Uh-oh.
So I am going to, instead of doing my original plans,
Whoa.
I am going to um finger gun a firebolt at the Coca-Cola.
Hold on 1 second.
Holding.
Okay, we're gonna ignore that, I guess. Whoa.
Oh
Oh,
god.
I see what you're doing, Keel. Okay.
Did you move the whole map? Oh my
The
goodness.
tokens underneath.
I accidentally clicked the wrong button, sent the token underneath the map. Now can't grab it without moving the whole map, so I'm not gonna do that. Created a new token, and here we go.
You might want to move the whole map one side, one space to the right though.
To the right.
No, no, no.
Everybody's in their
No,
correct
no,
position.
It's right now.
Oh, then I'm just gonna reload initiative fix then. But otherwise, the dynamic lighting is set to the exact edges of the wall. That's how you're able to tell if the map is off or not.
Yeah, and I shouldn't be able to walk through the wall like this. Can't walk through the wall. So we're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's good, bud.
Yeah, that's
Although
why
I
said
I
can't
think
grab
that's
my
just
token.
the wall. Well, that is a normal U thing. Did I add that?
Okay.
There we go.
So
Oh,
shoot
hey, when I reloaded
your
it, didn't have to reload
firebolt.
in.
I was
Pew,
holding
pew,
because he
pew.
told me to hold.
Go ahead. You can do your turn.
Oh,
What are you shooting a firebolt at?
Coca-Cola. Oh,
Ka-
Kyla?
Keela.
Coca-Cola?
Yep, your guess
Coca-Cola?
is as good as mine. The firebolt will hit.
And I'm gonna twin it.
Alright.
Yeah, no, it was just my fucking thing not wanting to load up.
Oh no.
That will definitely not hit. High or low?
Low.
You watch as your firebolt, the second one, after watching the first one smash into the now emerged face of Coca-Cola, the second one flies over and smashes into the wall back here, and you immediately watch as the wall collapses and crumbles on itself as the
Wait,
room
which wall?
shakes slightly.
Don't
Huh.
destroy the room we're in.
I mean, I wasn't meaning to.
Really, because you could have fooled me. That was a pretty nice collapsing wall that I cannot see.
If I wanted to collapse the wall, I would have shattered it.
All right. Anything else on your turn, sir?
I am. Hold on. So it's difficult terrain, right?
Yes, sirree. And this is not my favorite terrain, just so you know. So
So that would be 10. So I'm gonna move there, and that's my turn.
All right. Give me a dexterity saving throw. You slip and slide a little as you slosh through, but able to keep your footing.
Dope.
Oh boy. Coca-Cola. Oh.
Yeah,
ooh.
that was my second attempt at running in a D&D game in 2 days.
Good job. Good.
And failing.
Kovash, as you're kind of harrying the crayfish in front of you, you get a sense that something's about to hit you from behind, and you drop to a knee as you watch as a giant claw of this now seemingly moving rock swings over you and clips your hair. And as it walks forward through the mud, gathering at its shell, it also goes and lunges at you with another claw, Katra. 10 does not hit. I'm assuming so. As
I was gonna
you have
say you
mage
can.
armor up.
I do.
All right. You watch as you suddenly realize that the rock is now coming for you, and that its claws are headed straight for your neck. And you kind of freeze up as your mage armor glimmers into existence as the claw snaps shut in front of you.
Whew. That could lead to a bad day.
Dikuth, you're up.
And Dikuth is going to run in the room and seeing these large,
Creatures.
intimidating creatures, yes. He's going to run up to this hermit crab and he kind of thinks to himself, I've killed a snail. A hermit crab's kind of similar. And he attacks with his Shadow Spike.
Give me an attack roll. That's gonna hit.
Thank you, Nat 1, for staying on the right side this time.
You strike forward with Shatter Spike in just a downward slash, and you watch as it cleaves through part of the armored shell, breaking a large patch over it away, exposing some of the body of the hermit crab underneath, and you watch it bite deep into it as you deal some pretty good damage to it. Anything else for you, sir?
You have the inspiration.
And Jelenith, you look over to Dikuth and you'll see him with a big grin just give you a thumbs up and you feel inspired.
Inspiration.
Thumbs up, inspiration!
I feel like I can do it. I feel I can do anything.
Do you feel it now, Mrs. Jelenith?
I'm feeling it.
All right.
I was waiting for that. 8 platinum.
Hi, Platinum Puppy. Hello, new Platinum mascot.
Jelenith, you watch as a giant claw comes straight for you as well.
Ooh boy.
Okay, I can't roll tonight.
Hey, you know what? I think it's good because yesterday they were the monsters were rolling like crazy.
You watch as the crayfish goes to clamp down on you, and it actually misses so much that its own legs skitter in the mud, and it loses its grip and second attack. Holy cow. As it's fumbling about, almost falling onto its backside. Bjolf.
All right, so Bjolf is going to take his hand, which is somehow already bleeding, and he squeezes it until a few drops come out, and they sort of hover about 2 feet off the ground, and they turn into like these really nasty-looking blood ravens. And I'm gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Guardians.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Where would you want those spirit guardians?
Well, they're centered on
Center.
me, and it's like a 15-foot radius.
Mm-hmm. Could you? Never mind.
Circle?
Oh no, she can
Yeah,
add an.
it's
She can do an aura on her token.
15-foot aura off of her.
I don't know how to do that.
Double click your token,
I got it.
and then. Oh, okay.
Wait.
Like we can do that ourselves too.
Mm.
Well, that's fine. That's where you're moving to.
Huh?
She.
Yes. Yeah, I wanna get both of them in the
Yeah.
in the strike zone.
Dikuth is currently right where your token is.
That's fine. The spirit guardians won't hit them.
No, you
But you
can't
can't
be. You
move
can't
the
take up
space.
his space with him.
You can't share squares.
You gotta move over one.
Oh.
Oh, I'm trying to.
To clarify, you can't willingly end sharing squares.
Whoa.
What?
Can you
Now the light's
unwillingly share
probably off.
squares?
Yeah, like Thunderwave pushing you or something.
So
I
that
think both of them
is.
have to make a wisdom saving throw either way.
Yeah, on their turn though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But their
All
speed
right.
is
Yeah, that's
half.
that's it for me then.
All right. Sif.
Sif. Oh god, wow, now kind of like pulling his body finally to move, considering the exhaustion just left him at that as soon as Kovash was like in his seeing him in his very much older body spring into action. Sif locked up, and now finally able to do something. He's gonna waddle through the mud.
Save.
Uh,
Draw my
just so
blade.
you know,
Yes, sir.
unfortunately, I
Uh-oh.
believe you have an exhaustion point,
Yep.
and this is difficult terrain.
So
You have
Exhaustion
to.
point 2 limits speed.
Oh, okay,
I'm at
okay, okay.
exhaustion
Yep, you're good.
one.
You're good.
It's
You're good.
ability
You're good.
check,
I
not homie.
apologize. I always mix those two up.
No, you're good. I literally just explained this to Steven like an hour,
No,
a
I
half
feel
hour
like
ago.
the fucking speed. Nah, whatever. I don't know. Let's go.
I thought it was
Ability
ability
checks is
check.
first.
Ability check, speed, attacks.
Oh, I always thought it was ability checks, attack, and then speed.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Do what you gonna do.
Do I have to? And I'll take my swings at this thing.
All right.
Do I need to take a deck saver?
Yeah.
at
As
first?
you finish moving, I require a dex saving throw, please. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure. If it will roll. Oh no.
And you all watch as you have all almost successfully navigated the mud. However, Sif, going off to the right side, seems to have found a much more fluid pocket as he comes to a stop on his butt, falling heavily poof, to the ground.
You can
Hmm.
still attack from prone.
Yes, I can. um.
But you can
Okay.
also use your action to dash to stand up, so that way these guys don't hit
Yeah,
you.
you do have advantage.
This is true. I would have. So it would be at normal then, yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm prone.
No, prone affects them more than it affects you. So if they hit you while you're prone, it's a crit.
Yeah. I know.
That's not true.
I
No,
thought
you
it
have
was
to
only
be
if they were
conscious.
unconscious.
I remember prone having
I
a
thought they get
specific
advantage.
rule.
Prone gets
They
They
get
get
advantage on
advantage. The
melee
crit is for
attacks.
incapacitated.
Yeah.
It's incapacitated
okay.
that gets automatic crit. or
Also,
sweep.
Austin, number 2 is speed halved.
That's what I said. First
Oh,
is
sorry.
ability, second is speed half, third is attack. I'm
Sorry.
the only. I'm taking my attacks now.
Yeah, so at regular, because you're at disadvantage, plus advantage, 18 will hit. 16 will hit.
Okay.
Oh,
The first one, I am going to slap. The first one, as I'm kind of laying in the mud, there's just a kind of like bubbles coming from the head of the thing he just kind of leans forward and with his sword, now glowing a bit, stabs, and I'm going to use a divine smite.
all right.
First level.
Sif, can I also ask real quick?
Sure, damage is rolling.
Yep, that's fine.
Second damage is also rolling. I
A
don't know where they are.
charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, I am good at these actually, but saving throw is does that count as ability?
Not yet.
No, it doesn't count for
No.
exhaustion. Okay,
There's a specific exhaustion rule for saving throws.
got you. Well, there's the charisma. Okay, where's my damage? Okay, whatever.
Kevin is
Um,
3.
Okay, that's just weird. Whatever. One sec. Six plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. 2 plus 2 plus 1. That's 16 plus, and then plus 3 plus 2 plus 1.
So how much damage?
So 16 and then 14 for a total of 30 points of damage.
Thank you.
6 of it'll be radiant. The rest is slashing.
All right. As you fall to your butt, you go to strike with your sword, and you feel this overwhelming sense of darkness as your blade's about to connect, and you push through it and connect with your divine smite, and you watch as your sword explodes into holy fire as it connects with this large outer shell of this crab, and explodes fragments of this shell all over the place. Excuse me.
Oh, damn. That was a bit more than I was expecting. Wait a minute. Oh. Uh, yeah, but that'll be my turn though.
Alrighty.
I totally just realized Divine Smite's 2d8, not 2d6 though. Fuck.
Reroll your damage then, I guess.
No, it's fine. I'm that it. No, that's too late. That's my fault.
I see that Beowulf has cast magic. Was this the first time I've ever seen her do any kind of combat? Um,
I
so
think
I'm
Beowulf is a
just gonna
Except when she used
say,
that giant fire orb to burn down the ship or the
oh
fire.
yeah, she did do that.
Beowulf is a boy.
I was gonna say I think Beowulf is a dude.
Sorry.
Beowulf, did I miss
Sorry.
the description of your spiritual guardians? I apologize if I did.
It
Huh?
was
The
Blood
ravens,
Ravens.
right?
Blood ravens.
Yeah, they're like blood ravens.
I totally missed that then. Yes, Jelnith, you are surrounded by ravens made out of this thick, viscous red fluid.
Okay. I'm going to shift down there, and then bonus action to enlarge.
Alrighty. This way, fine. Alright,
There we go.
that's perfect.
And then I will attack the crayfish in front.
Go for it.
Boom, baby.
That's gonna hit.
Why doesn't that fucking go?
I'm gonna throw the piercing thorns on top of.
Alrighty.
So 9 points of. So 9 points of damage.
You
So
watch as
7 points of slashing, 2 points of piercing.
Yeah, you watch as this thick blue fluid splatters around all of you as you land this deep, piercing bite of a strike.
I will attack with my second multi attack.
Alright.
No.
That unfortunately will not hit.
And then I will say in Primordial, stand down. We only want to pass. probably won't give me anything.
You give me a persuasion check.
Yeah.
You notice the crayfish has no interest in talking with you right now, but you do watch as the eye of the hermit crab kind of turns to look at you as you say this.
That's it for my turn.
All right, Kovash.
Yeah. Kovash seems to be in prime position on both of these guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So he's basically going to do like a single corkscrew spin and do one attack at each of them during the spin.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Whirlwind is better, but you know.
Yeah, we're like a whirlwind attack
Yeah.
and do one attack at each of them with his
See,
two attacks.
When someone says corkscrew, I imagined you like diving at them and spinning. Does that make
I mean,
In a
that'd
very-
be cool, but I don't have anywhere to land.
Yeah, no.
Like Palpatine?
Yeah, exactly. That's a corkscrew. Whereas a whirlwind is someone slashing around them.
Yeah, I imagine a whirlwind is kind of like just spinning around, where a corkscrew is kind of like a leap with a spin in it, like
Yeah.
a leap with a sideways spin in it.
That definitely hits. Wait, which one is which? Well,
In order.
either way, they both hit.
Oh, 14 hits both. Okay,
Well,
cool.
no, the 14 hits the second one, I should say. I just
It
wrote that.
hits Kalkakila.
No, the 14 hits the
Oh,
second.
okay.
It does matter.
And we're gonna do one of the attack on Kalkakia as the damage to me.
Sure.
Wait a minute.
So Kalkakia takes 23 and the crayfish takes 12. And I take 1.
As you land a swiping blow across the crayfish, it's turning to now attack Jelenith, and you watch as your sword cuts through part of its face and through one of its claws, cleaving through it, immediately dropping it to the ground as it flails and twitches for a second before going lifeless. Your other blade, your other strike bites deeply into Kalkakila's face, drawing this greenish, thicker than blood liquid starting to seep down your blade.
Cool. And that's my turn. I don't have a bonus action to do.
Katra, you watch as the crayfish goes down in a spattery gore, and Kalkakila seems to now be sort of hesitant as it's eyeing Jelenith is what she just said to her. You're not exactly sure what was said, as it was another language. I'm pretty sure you don't speak.
I don't think I do.
Primordial.
I have a lot of them, but I don't think that's one.
Yeah.
I speak ancient, y'all.
Yeah, boy. All right. What are you doing, boss?
Well, I'm not sure if it understands me, but I am going to. Oh, I can't do that at the same time. So I am going to. Okay, so I am going.
Roll your damage for your spell.
Huh?
Bjolf needs to roll damage for
Oh.
spiritual guardians.
I will do that.
So-
Do these creatures have blood?
Yes.
They do, although not in a
Nice.
normal sense, but yes.
I got
Okay,
sprayed with blue stuff.
Yeah,
because I have
a thing.
this thing.
I know you do.
What? There you go.
Yeah, Katra, before you're about to do anything, Bjolf, how would you like to do this?
Oh my God.
So basically, I would like the two of the ravens to just go shooting at its eye stalks. I want them to like grab the eye stalks, rip them off, and then another raven like shoots into whatever orifice it has for a mouth, and then just like explode from the inside, and then the whole thing just spatters everywhere.
All right. So yeah, you, Katra, you specifically are, yeah, you're ready to do this. This thing looks hurt, ready to take it out, and you're about to cast a spell of some kind when you see two blood ravens basically just mutilate the eyes off this creature, tearing them with fury. And as your mouth kind of drops for a second, you watch as a third one enters into the shell, armored shell, and everything goes silent for a second as it explodes out the top of the shell in a gory mess. Its wings wide open, flying before it stops, hovers, and into blackness.
So like Katra is aiming like his finger gun at Kalkakila, and like I imagine like he sees like these blood ravens fly past him, and then like he sees one flies into his mouth, and then like instantly closes his mouth, and then just like looks over at help me with your name.
Beowulf.
Beowulf looks over at Beowulf and and has this like face that is both like horrified but yet like very like
Intrigued.
Admirable.
very yeah he's very like adoration.
There we go.
And Beowulf just sort of shakes his hands, and the blood just sort of spatters everywhere, and the remaining ravens just kind of like splat into the ground. And he looks around. So I guess we're done here.
Well, hold on.
And that's where
What?
we'll take a
That's
break.
Okay.
as Sip is pulling his blade out of the out of the hermit crab as the shells are exploding, there's like, is that it then? And bubbling from the mud like blub, 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 blub. I just always like Sip's like, okay, uh, okay, I can do something, guys. Step, step, slip. Blub, 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 blub.
All right, everybody, we're gonna take a quick break, go get some drinks, maybe some snacks, use the restroom. We'll be back here, let's say around 10 o'clock, just for ease. Thank you for those of you who have joined us so far. I hope you've enjoyed it. Um, I'd like to see everybody back here again. See you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to New Platinum Content and Dikuth's Band of Merry Men. Um, as we left off, the group had encountered some interesting creatures in the second room that they have entered in this underground place that they've seemed to have found themselves in. One was a larger than life crayfish, and the other was an even larger um, hermit crab. Sorry, I blanked on the name there. Hermit crab. Uh, though there were some fumbles and people falling here and there on the ground, um, they were able to overcome these two creatures and slay both of them in their aggressive manners. And that's where we'll pick up as you
Oh
all
wait.
begin.
Oh no,
Oh,
no, no, you're good, you're good. I'm
as
sorry.
you
I didn't
all
even.
had begun breathing heavily, and uh, Bjolf had ended their spell, and Katra and him had begun a conversation.
Um, so before we move on, uh, I don't remember eating today. Like I remember waking up, but I don't remember eating. And I see a giant crawfish and a giant crab, and it only takes like 20 minutes to cook seafood. Was anyone hungry?
We ate.
Did we eat?
Yeah. I used cunning action to get food and water in the morning.
Excuse me, I apologize.
Right, but is it worth wasting this good meat?
Right. I mean, we have look. We could totally feed ourselves for at least 4 days off of this.
Can you keep the meat good for 4 days?
I mean, no, it's seafood, but we could cook and eat as much as we could while it's good.
I like this idea.
I mean, if you can find wood to make a fire, go for it. But until that happens, I'm going to revert my size.
Cook away, Mr. Magic Man.
The figures in the other room were definitely clay, right?
Stucco. So if that's clay, then yes. I'm not sure.
It's like
Okay.
plaster or clay, yeah.
Then yeah.
Snapple, snap.
Kovash, as you approach the stairway, the landing at the foot of a short flight of steps is filled with mud and silt that partially blocks the door leading north. The door is meant to open inward, for there are hinges on this side and a large grip to pull it open.
Is that stairs going up or down?
Down.
Uh, you see,
I'm just standing here keeping a watch while they make fire and cook seafood to eat.
Sure.
so Catra will pull out the torch that I guess he's still holding the torch. He'll like lay the torch down, and then he'll put out like another three torches stacked in the logway, and then he'll press the digitation them on fire,
Okay.
and then he will cast control flames twice to double their size. Um, and then he'll look around and he'll be like, "Hey, does anybody have any like a bucket and maybe some water?"
Does it
I
look
have
like
a water
anyone?
skin.
Hmm.
I have a water skin.
Is it full of water?
You did all just fill your waters up outside
Oh wait,
at
Bjolf,
at that
you can make
stream.
water, right?
I'm not going to burn another spell to do that when we don't need to.
But in the future, if we run out of water,
If you let me sleep on it, yes.
Okay. I guess I'm sorry, Kovash. There's no way we can I can finish cooking them and defeat it. Like you see, like Katra like twist his hand and the fire just goes out.
Poor Katja.
Can I check
you
this
see
middle pile
tears
of
in
rubble?
Kovash's eyes, but he holds them back.
Yeah, definitely. Give me an investigation check. So as you get closer, you look that it appears to be more just a bunch of rocks piled on each other, and probably what appears to be some sort of droppings.
Although, uh, Catra will. I will like move. I will take a couple of the rocks. Right, they're movable.
Yeah, they're well. Some of them are pretty big, but yeah, most of them you could probably pick up.
So he's gonna like lay them. So he'll lay the three torches like vertically, and then he'll lay the rocks in between them. And then he'll light the torches back on fire, and then he will walk over to the hermit crab and pull off as many legs as he could, and just like open fire roast them.
Give me a survival check. You did it to the hermit crab.
I mean, yeah, the only part of a crawfish that you can eat is the tail, and that's kind of difficult to cook when you don't have
I
the
have
proper
no idea.
utensils.
I've never eaten either of them. Didn't know.
Sorry, I was getting to roll
Hermit
20.
crabs are edible or not, but you
I can
know.
already tell you this will not cook evenly.
You overcook it, I guess.
You got
No,
roughly about half the remaining legs, and arms, claws. You kind of mangle one of the claws, and it's not really usable. But the other one is you get pretty decent chunk out of it. You probably feed the whole party one meal out of this.
Um, awesome. And so
Are you guys taking a
I will
short rest here then?
Yeah. Or what? Yeah. I would think so. If we're taking this time to.
and
You can take a short rest in the mud, guys.
I mean, there are stones you can sit on.
I don't need a short rest, but if you want to take a short rest, I'll go and look around by these doors.
Sif will help Jelineth with that. Even he's tired and could use the rest, but the short rest isn't going to help him.
I slowly walk around the room.
Yeah, you notice that both these doors are made of beaten bronze and appear to be pushed to the other side of this room, like not inward towards you. So they would open this way, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh,
As is this one.
sorry, I was busy trying to fix that code. Is anyone in the group look like they are a little that they're injured or were outwardly harmed during the last encounter?
It looks like a few people have scrapes and bruises, but nothing that would make them even say anything, probably.
Okay.
But yeah, these doors look like beaten bronze. They look pretty heavy and can be pushed. If you want to give me an investigation check for other things other than that.
Dikuth pushes this door open.
Alrighty.
Oh, he just pushes it open.
Oh boy.
I love
You're
Dickus
not gonna wait for me to
sometimes,
finish
guys.
cooking?
Dickus does not care.
I really do love Dickus sometimes, guys. Alright, Diggith. As you push open the door, it's hard to open at first as it seems um, like the door probably hasn't been opened or used in a long time. As you throw your shoulder into it and move it, it slowly opens up into a hallway, and the walls of this corridor are wet and slimy. The stucco covering has become saturated with water and is decomposing and sloughing off in spots on the southern wall, exposing the seams of one of the large stone blocks from which this structure was built, right here.
Hey guys, there's this gross hallway over here.
Hey, Dicketh, there's like food over here.
yeah, for those of you who weren't investigating and did take a short rest, you can benefit from a short rest.
And Catro will, like, look at all of you guys and like, all right, bon appetit. Uh, roasted crab legs. Also, they're better with butter and salt and garlic
Corvash,
and
Uh,
onions.
Corvash tears into a chunk.
hey, Laney, your hit dice is set to a D4 on the sheet.
Yeah.
If you click the D4 on it, you can actually drop it down and then select the right one for cleric.
I don't know what the right one is.
I got
I think
you.
it's a D8.
D8, I believe.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, go ahead and re-roll that.
Cool.
I do not eat the crab legs.
All right. For those of you who do eat the crab legs, it's okay. The
No, it's not.
ingredients that he used to somewhat cook it cover the somewhat dirty water, stale mud. Probably sitting here for a long time. Taste. It's not the best.
But do we
Scar,
die though?
Sif,
It's edible. It's something you enjoy, Kovash.
Sif, like a true soldier, takes the helmet off, scarfs it down without a single look of discomfort, and gives a slight little bow to Katra and says, "Thank you for the meal," and then puts the helmet back on.
What are the rest of you doing?
I am joining Dikuth over by this hallway that he just opened up into.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sif is going to as well, and make sure
Yeah.
to put his shield in front of him. Like,
Once again,
Dickus,
Yeah.
you see
What?
balls that are wet and slimy. It's saturated with water. Um, the stucco is decomposing and sloughing off in spots
What?
on
Two
this
seconds.
wall here. And that seems to be exposing the seams of one of the large stone blocks. That seems to be like a foundation block.
Well,
Does
this
anybody want
hallway's
to check
open.
out the
Go
other
ahead.
side? Did anybody want to check out the other?
Similar door. I didn't open it
Sure,
though.
I can go check, make sure it's clear.
All right. So Kovesh,
I'll go with him.
it easy enough. It's a heavy bronze door that you take a moment, throw your shoulder into, and it opens up into a somewhat long, it's not very long. It's a hallway. If I could get to the dynamic lighting, there we go. Whoa. Why don't you want to work?
There we go.
Um, this room, you immediately get the sense is wet, and the walls are covered with a slimy white buildup. Um, that's kind of all you can see besides stairs that immediately go downwards.
I turn around and I say, "There's stairs over here."
Well, we have a door over here.
Sif kind of looks towards Jonathan now, and then kind of back and forth and back and forth. Does anyone have a coin?
Nope.
And-
Too
and-
late. Too late. Dikuth's
Kovash
already moved
closes
it
the
off.
door and runs across the room to catch up.
All right.
come on. And so Sif kind of moves past Jonathan slowly. He's gonna call out to Dicketh and say, "Have your shield ready just in case." And after Dicketh,
Catro will run over there screaming, "It's moves like this that caused our last teammate to perish."
I
Um,
will creep around the corner.
and Dicketh, what you are seeing is actually supposed to be there. And Jonathan, as you creep around the corner, you see that this is a staircase that goes up for only a few steps, and then it seems to that the rest is filled in with clay and stone rubble.
Collapse staircase over here. So I guess we're not escaping out this way.
And as Sif sees this, you kind of see like his shoulders slump, his armor kind of just slightly shift as he kind of just like lets out a long, silent. Turns, starts to walk back around the corner.
I guess we should check out this door.
It's not really
Okay.
a door as much as it is a part of the wall that the stucco that pasted it to the other rest of the wall seems to just have disintegrated through long term exposure to um, the wetness in here.
Okay. So I imagine we can probably just like
Hey,
kick this wall down.
hey Kobash, kick it.
Dickus comes with a kick wall? What?
Hey, kick it. Time to kick. And Sif will literally move out the way and just kind of like
Same.
move, like give like one of those wide arm situations towards Dicketh. And yes, he meant to say kicketh.
1 second, guys.
Oh, Dicketh, please kick it.
I really dislike when they put things off kilter this way, like where it's not on that grid.
All right, whatever. Okay. So yeah, you do notice, Bjolf, as you kind of back into the wall, you do notice that it is covered in this light green. Um, I don't know. It just seems to come off. It's a light green texture that comes off on the wall. Um, as
Like a film?
Does
yeah,
does it appear as though it's growing there, or there's like something making it?
it appears like it's you. Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. That went super well for me that last time, so I'm very hopeful for this time. Did you say intelligence check? Just straight intelligence?
Yes.
God.
Sif gives
Okay.
her all
This
the
is
intelligence power.
lime.
Slime?
Lime.
Oh, lime, like the rock? Okay.
And it your skin, your finger that touched it begins burning.
Yep.
And
Checks
you
out.
actually take a point of acid damage as you quick rub it off on your leathers.
Uh, don't don't touch the walls.
As Dicketh goes kicking one,
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he?
Kick
Yes,
it. Use kicketh.
I am definitely kicking.
I choose you. Dicketh. Use.
Dick,
Kick it.
go ahead and give
On the
me a
wall.
strength check. Athletics. You feel like you're nowhere close by yourself to move this, whatever it might be, as you lean and grunt with all your strength. You look up and the stone seems to be about 6 foot tall, 3 foot wide. It's probably bigger than you are in just thickness.
Well, I'm definitely not moving that.
So
You think
should
if
we
you
go
had some
down the
help, you
stairs
could
I
probably do
found?
it.
And then Sif kind of like, okay, I wanted to see if you could do it this time. And then Sif is gonna
Give
do
me
it
a
again,
hand,
help
maybe?
this other way.
Maybe if you guys gave me a hand here.
You feel like you might need more than just one other person.
And definitely Kovesh too. There's two people right
How
there.
are you guys going to push this though?
Sif,
Dikuth,
Sif.
because
Wait,
after hold on one second, Dikuth, after about a minute goes by, you notice that this green substance seems to be where you leaned your shoulder into the rock after kicking it to try and see if you can actually push it. Seems to be melting through your like soft leathers.
Oh, nope, nope. Washing
Oh,
that shit off. I grabbed some of the mud that's probably still in the ground around us
Yeah.
and just like start wiping
Oh,
that
perfect. Yeah.
that off of them.
It it kind of is an extremely weird texture at first, but easily enough it just starts sliding down the wall with the mud. And then if you'd like, seems like it's easy.
wait, can how like is this stone kind of like almost like stone to stone, or how much room in between them is there?
Well, about as
Like,
much as you see.
would that be about enough to fit a finger, a hand, maybe an arm through?
Maybe the beginnings of a hand.
Okay, so not that. Scratch that, dealer.
DM.
Yes, sir.
I attacked the stone with Shatter Spike.
All right. Give me an attack. One second. That's gonna hit. And it critically hits because you're using Shatter Spike. Really?
Oh, uh, by the way, I got something for you, Dicketh. I got something for Dicketh in the code department. That'll work nice and good for that.
Are you rolling damage, Butto? Alright, so were you were one handing this? Alright, 8.
Two handing.
Alright,
Then it's a 10.
you gotta reroll.
Oh.
10 plus 4 is 14 plus. You just roll a d10 on the side over here. Yeah, there you go. So 14 plus 8 is math
22.
22. So you all watch as Dicketh takes Shatter Spike. His gentleman has just got done cleaning the rock off with, well, cleaning the rock off with mud. And he, and you all watch a small little crack as he slaps into it with the sword up here, and then it just spider webs all throughout the entire stone, and large pieces begin to crumble off. But it seems that the majority is still there. It's very weakened though.
Well, anybody else want to give this thing a try?
I think your sword's best suited for it.
And Sif will say, unless he wants me to swing at it, I think you could keep your best to keep doing. But and Sif at this point is actually gonna walk over to back to the other area, and he's going to unhook his shield, and I'm gonna actually like kind of take a full shield full of this mud, and I'm gonna kind of walk back,
All right.
and I'm gonna kind of hold it there and say, any of that slime, we have just in case.
All right. All right.
Taking the idea from watching Jelinus wash some of the stuff off.
So, what are the rest of you doing?
Watching Dikuth break a wall down.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dikuth is gonna take another strike at the wall.
go ahead, my friend. All right, and as you again slap the sword in, you all watch as it just crumbles into dust and large pieces of stone. As Shatter Spike does its work for its name.
Dikuth steps through the threshold.
2 seconds. Alright. Beyond this plug is a small foyer holding 3 sealed urns on both the east and west sides. To the south are double doors of bronze with glyphs worked into their faces.
You said the urns have things carved into them. I'm sorry.
No, the urns seem to be sealed on each side. The double doors of bronze have glyphs worked into the face.
Can I read these glyphs?
It appears to be a language that you do not understand.
Okay.
Can any of us read them?
As you all enter the room, you all notice that not any of you really recognize it. Jelinith, however, your eyes kind of daze for a second and then refocus as words seem to appear on the door for you.
Hang on, I'm taking out notes. Give me a second.
No worries. This is going to be a good one. You're all going to like this. Just because of the name.
So for some reason, I randomly got booted out of Roll20. I'm trying to come.
Bet you any money he just loaded back into Roll20.
Wow.
Ignore these again. So, oh wait, no, never mind.
You're a real, I don't know.
Perceptive one.
Who's
Okay. So I walk into the room. The double bronze door has runes on them, right? You said?
And as your eyes kind of refocus after a second, they at first didn't seem like anything that you recognized, but then they kind of etch a sketch into different and words you do understand, and it says, I'm sorry. Here lies Tlokes Popolokas, master of the others, who is like the wind and the night.
Who is the wind and the night?
Who is like
Who's like the wind in the
and
night?
the night.
Night as in nighttime or night as in a
Nighttime.
warrior?
Dikuth starts feeling up this door for traps.
Give me an investigation check. If you want a pronunciation guide, there it is as well.
I just thank you.
What was that for?
That was ignore that one. Sorry,
Okay.
trying to make sure this went through right.
No worries. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Guys, this is a grave or a tomb. A what's
Did
what
you
is
say
that
grave?
called? Where it's not. Yes. So somebody's buried here. but it's not like
So
a
what
normal
you're
like.
saying is that there's things in there that people aren't using anymore.
And Dikuth, as you say this, you notice that there is a trap. You notice that uh, the light source that is coming from the torch that kind of glimmers in uh, notices a glint of glass in the seam between the doors. And you notice this because you realize that the door is locked and is part of a trap. And that to disable the trap, you would have to disable the lock.
Well, guys, there is a trap on this door and a lock, and I think you've got to disable the lock before the trap goes away.
Yeah.
Can I investigate the urns real quick?
Yeah. Give me an investigation check. You're able to tell right away that the seals on these urns is made of beeswax and probably easily broken. However, they're all very heavy and seem to be filled with some sort of liquid.
Katra, didn't you say you could unlock doors?
And as you say that, like you see Katra's like enthralled by these urns. And he starts to like reach and start. I reach for this one in the top left corner and starts to like pick the top off of it. When Kovac says
Whoa.
I when Kovac says that, he's like, "Yeah, I did say that." Continuing on to pull it off.
Uh, as you break it open, you get this earthly, ozony smell as this thick black liquid seems to be sitting in the urn.
I will dip the end of one of the torches in there.
Uh, um, can everybody give me a dex saving throw besides Sif?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh
Wait, it was a
man.
lit torch, right?
No,
Oh, okay, never mind. Forget that.
I'm the one with the lit torch.
When you said torch.
no, it was not the flaming side, like the butt side of the
Okay, it
torch
goes in
in it.
and it's very thick.
And then I pull it out. Does it still look black on the end of the torch?
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Um. I. Yeah. So you guys want me to open that door?
Jelenith, do you still have that key from the bar?
I do, but I don't see a keyhole on this door. Is there a keyhole on this door?
Uh, sorry. Oops, wrong one. Yes, there is. It's a part of the a part of the door in the center where they meet.
I
That's where the lock
mean,
is, I should say.
yeah, I have the key still,
Same thing, Katra.
I doubt it
but
would be. I doubt it would be the same one, but that's.
I would scrape some of the liquid off of the torch with the dagger. Is it the same color, or is
It
it like
is
a is it still
black.
and it smell like when I sniff it, it smells like really thick, ozone earthy.
Yeah.
And then he will
I will back
drop
out
the
of the room.
dagger.
Lick it, Katra.
No. He will drop the dagger and then prestidigitation it on fire, or prestidigitation like the liquid on fire.
In on the end of the torch, or where?
Like he would have scraped off the liquid
Oh, okay, I
onto the
understand.
dagger and then dropped the dagger and set the dagger on fire.
The part of the black liquid just goes up in flame immediately with a very explosive fire that burns very hot, burns all the liquid up, turns the metal of the dagger, extremely orange to the point of white before fading away.
Uh, guys, I think we found a highly flammable liquid.
Yeah, that's what happens
Thanks
to
for that
things when they
update.
set and
And the
ferment.
and Sif is as he did this and started to as it started to like light up, immediately kind of like put his back against the wall, like just in case everything would have went boom, and then kind of leans ahead over and says, "And you sparked it within feet of it."
Yes.
And Sif kind of pulls his head back and contemplates who he's traveling with for a few minutes.
Look, I have a key. I have the key that opened up that other door. I don't think this key opened this door, but you guys are free to try.
I doubt it would, but it would be worth a try.
Um.
But uh,
So
I
step
don't know
to
what the
the
trap
side,
is. But something tells me the trap has something to do with the urns that are sitting around the door
and are highly flammable. So
that
I
are
think we should
extremely
say
flammable.
no to this.
or we could dump all of the liquid out of the urns.
Or we could just move the urns out of the room.
I'm not certain that they move. Also, while he's saying that, like you guys see him like produce a small glass flask or like vial and start like um siphoning some of the liquid out of the urn.
Yeah, and he does so. It's
Take
very
a
thick.
vial of black liquid.
Um, it's very black. Has, you get this very strong earth smell tone from it. What are the rest of you doing?
Sitting out in the hallway.
Koresh is just standing here watching.
Sif is making sure he is definitely at least a couple feet
So
to the
you,
side of the doorway, still holding the shield with mud, but
so you,
contemplating he should dump it out now.
so you're all just standing there while
Wait,
Katra is siphoning a liquid.
guys, why don't we
Katra opened the
use
door.
Sif already said he doesn't want to continue with this. What if they want to continue? He won't abandon them, but he'll stand here.
guys, if you guys want to get in, why don't we just use some of the lime here on the wall to like melt away at the lock and the trap?
Do you think it's strong enough?
It's worth a shot.
What are the walls made of?
No, no, not the wall, the stuff on the wall.
Yes, but if the walls are made of something that is stronger than metal, it would stand to prove that it wouldn't eat through metal.
Mm. I mean, what did we just break down?
I don't know. I didn't break.
You know what? I will do an investigation check and figure out what kind of stone we just broke down. Or is that
Uh,
survival?
let's go survival.
21.
All right. You would know that this is dolomite, or was dolomite before you destroyed it.
Okay. And is that harder than bronze?
Yes.
So we could potentially use some of this green slime stuff to
Uh,
melt the bronze lock.
Possibly, but I do believe yes. Dickus' thing was high enough to notice that the lock is attached to the trap, and if it's broken, the trap will assumably go off.
Okay. Well, I don't have ability to disarm a trap or unlock a door.
Katra.
Damn it. And you guys see like Katja starts to like sweat profuse.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a step. I'm definitely gonna take a side step here.
Jeez,
Katra.
guys.
You
Thanks
unlock
for
the door.
thanks for being here with me and you know potentially getting exploded with me. It means a lot. And he will like turn over to the door and like you see him like take both hands and start like rubbing it down. Um and then like right when he stops, he stops rubbing it and like curls his hand into a small fist and starts to like gently knock a little bit, and it knocks and it knocks, and he stops and he looks back and he goes, "I should warn you, it's gonna be really loud." And he turns and puts his ear to the door, um, does another slight knock, and then you got everyone in the room kind of like sees the light kind of dim around him a little bit, like he has an aura of darkness. And the next time he knocks, you hear a loud knock.
And as that,
I think everyone hears that.
yeah,
Yeah, I said the next time he knocks, you hear a loud knock.
and as
And
that
it goes up to 300 feet away.
loud knock echoes down the chambers, you all watch as the lock itself jiggles, and you hear a loud click, and nothing else seems to happen.
And Dikuth slowly creeps forward and kind of reluctantly looking back at everybody. He puts his hand to the door and pushes it open.
Alrighty.
Catcher moves away very quickly.
Alright. Okay. So, Dicketh, immediately the first thing you notice before even looking at the room is that above you on the other side of this door is this large glass sphere hanging right on the top of the um, door's archway. And you see a small little, like, mechanical, somewhat door in front of it that would appear to open outward. And inside this glass sphere is this green swirling glass. And then, as you look past the doors, is a chamber cut out of rock with a veil of calcite and stalactites covering the walls. Buttresses rise from the corners, brown shot through with black, and triangular stone pillars support the high ceiling. Occupying the center of the chamber is a colossal monument resembling a giant's table, covered on all sides with intricate carvings and glyphs. Engraved on the floor in front of the entrance is a seal that displays more glyphs. Opposite the entrance, a battle axe is embedded in the wall, 6 feet above the floor.
Did you say there were glyphs on the floor?
Oh, oh,
What
Yes.
is this axe?
oh.
Engraved on the floor in front of the entrance where you're standing is a seal that displays more glyphs in a language that you're unable to read.
I bet that has magic in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can anybody read that floor words?
I will slowly approach.
Yeah.
As you approach Jelenith, if you get close enough, you can read on the floor as the same sort of similar etch a sketchy thing happens. And it says, "Ah, defilers, now you shall join me in my eternal resting.
Anything, Jelenith?
Writing notes. 1 second. Yeah. So the note says, "Ah, defiler," which I guess is us now. We shall join him
Us.
it in its eternal resting.
Sif's try.
And you do
Us.
see
That
more
doesn't seem
glyphs and
inviting.
writing on over here.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm not willing to walk into
I
the
get
room.
you, I get you, I get you.
Jonathan,
Dig it.
I'll go in if you go in.
Dig it, please. Um, make a decision for us, as you are usually the one who does so. But at least say it outwards. Are we
Are
stepping
these
in?
glyphs present only in front of the door?
No, you do see more glyphs along the side and on top of the large stone table.
But it's not like the whole floor is what he's
Oh,
asking.
no, just right in front of the door.
I would like to take a running leap over the glyphs,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell my comrades that before I do so, obviously.
And Sif, to the sound of this, sighs, dumps the mud onto the thing, kind of shakes. Katra, could you help me with this?
And Katra snaps, and it's clean of any mud.
And then
Kovash
puts the
grabs
shield
his
back
sword
on.
and gets ready.
And okay.
Maybe
ready,
we
sir.
should all get out of this room first.
Yes, please.
You
Yes,
won't go.
please,
I'll
gone.
stay here for backup, Dikuth.
DM question: where is this hand axe in the wall that you gave us a handout for? Oh. Oh.
Where is this axe?
You
Way on the
can't
other
see
side
it,
of the room.
buddy.
I could not see. Gotcha.
Guys, what if there's treasure and magic in that room, though?
There almost assuredly is. There's
There.
also death.
I
Yep.
mean, people usually guard treasure and magic with death.
I mean, if you really want to test out the room, we could throw in some of these rocks to see if it triggers anything.
Or someone
Dikuth
could
is
throw one of the
joining.
urns in.
Can I? You know, if I may.
Wait, everybody, get out of the room! Get out of the room! Get out of the room!
No, hold that thought, please, before anyone does something. We've already had one collapse. That liquid is flammable and intense. We should double. We don't want another collapse, do we?
I mean, if something arises out of this room and comes at us, I will take a collapse.
That's a good.
I have an idea,
That's
guys.
a minorly good point, but I wouldn't.
What's your plan, Dikuth?
So, I have this whistle, right? And it can bring people back from the dead. I've never used it,
That's
but
a
Elzan
thing.
told me what it does.
Wait, why didn't you use it on Elzan?
We never found Elzan.
Oh, so you have to have the body?
I mean, there has to be dead people for it to wake up dead people.
Okay, so I'm listening.
But first, I think we should get out of this room.
Get out of this room going back, or get out of this room going forward?
Ooh, definitely back.
Probably back.
I will sidestep.
I still think we should throw the urn in case something comes at us. We could just set it on fire and watch it burn.
Beowulf,
And
are you joining us in the hallway?
Bjolf, we don't want to burn you and or hurt you.
Hello, Bjolf. Hello.
Bjolf?
Well, that's fine. It's 10:52 anyways. So, as you're Dikuth, as you're about to do whatever it is that you're about to do, and you wait for Bjolf to back out of the room, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Um, good job, everybody.
I have too much fear about this room. I
I
mean,
laugh in the
reasonable
face of
fear.
fear. Danger.
All right. Well, thank you for everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you for those of you who watched later on. Um, Catch us back here probably again Monday 8 p.m. as normal, unless something else arises. If it does, we'll let you know on our social medias. Uh, I hope everyone's doing all right and stay safe out in the chaos. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everybody.
Have a wonderful night.